Hey guys, Slater Magic here. It is time for Modern Horizons 3 spoilers. Oh boy, day 2. We've already seen, I think, 40 to 60% of the set spoiled. I only covered probably a third of that, but I picked out some rares and mythics that I thought looked really cool and noteworthy, and the rest, who cares? But this whole set is basically just upgrades for your commander deck. Ironic that it's called Modern Horizons, but anyway, we got Spymaster's Vault. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp, and then it taps for black, so that's huge. And the effect is you pay 1 black, tap it, target creature you control connives X, where X is the number of creatures that died this turn. That could be huge. You put this on something that already gains counters when something else dies or draws a card or any kind of death trigger deck. If there's one thing left, it is over. And there's more than one card now that blows up everything in play except for one card. Or one creature, I should say. In fact, there's one in standard right now. I believe it's white, though. So crazy new card. Next up, we've got Cursed Mirror. My gosh. With all the shopping I do at thrift stores and like Goodwill and all that, and like, the bins and the Amazon return stores and all that, I can't even tell you how many times I got a Cursed Mirror. It seems like a great deal until you get home and then it's just a money pit of just like sage, and then you need a lighter, then you need some holy water, surprisingly cheap on eBay. You might even need some Eclipse water, which people are scalping right now. I don't mean like the water that people left out allegedly during an eclipse or sell it for $250 on Craigslist. No, I mean, just go find a Mitsubishi Eclipse that's still running, and there's going to be water coming out of that exhaust. Okay, that's just how they work. So this is a 3-drop red artifact. Tap it and add 1 red to your mana pool, and then as it enters the battlefield, you may have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. So it's a mana rock from then on, unless you could flicker it somehow. But it basically becomes their biggest creature, or your biggest creature, and then, ta-da, I swing at him. This is the craziest mana rock ever. I love this thing. Next up, we got Disruptor Flute. It's a 2-drop artifact, colorless with flash. When it enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name cost 3 more to cast. I don't know why they bother with flash if it's already on the stack, then, well, you're done paying for it, but activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So this is simply a better version of Sorcerer's Spyglass, which has been banned in, I believe, multiple formats for somewhat good reason. I kind of get it. I believe Brawl was one of them, but you could blow up their commander, send them back to the command zone, and then flash this in during their upkeep or something, or on your own turn. I mean, I really don't know why this says flash, but why not? Why wouldn't it? And now you just pinned them in the command zone, so that's pretty clever. I think the demand's going to be pretty big, but Sorcerer's Spyglass is currently going for 5 cents. That card used to be like $2 or $3. Next up, the greatest card of the entire set. It's the Shrekmobile. That's right, Shrekmobile. What does it do? It's in German. I don't know. This German guy speaks Spanish. Welcome to America. Who cares? I just included it because it's Shrekmobile. Speaking of dumb memes, well, you're on the right channel. Signature Slam. Just take it all in. In fact, they massacred the light levels in this to the point where I'm already during editing planning on putting up a proper version of this. You got the gorilla clapping in the background, and then you got Harambe, who came back to life and then respec'd as a heavy armor build, drops the people's elbow on a dinosaur. Glad to see somebody at Wizard still has a sense of humor. So this meme card is a 3-cost green instant, which it's not a sorcery. I kind of take issue with that. You're probably going to guess what else I take issue with. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and then each modified creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Yeah. I mean, I get it. This is kind of a special case. It's in a high power level format, and, it costs 3. But they need to do away with this deals damage equal to its power. Okay, that's not what it does. You just literally gave green a free removal, no risk removal, okay? I can't grant it death touch and get you back. I can't boost it and make your little force fight fail. Okay, green always had force fight. And the whole thing was like the balancing part of it was you could lose. You were gambling a little bit that they didn't have some kind of reaction. You know what I mean? Now it's just, I just deal damage equal to my power. I'm not really actually touching you. And all the force fight cards printed in like the last 3 years are like that. I am so sick of that crap. The zero consequences thing just took balance and just threw it right out the window. But they took the color pie and they ate it. Okay, it's gone. In an Eternal format, I could care less because that's where all these are going, let's be honest. It's called Modern, but come on. Yes, Commander Horizons here is definitely oriented towards the last remaining portion of their customer base. So moving on from Epic Monkey, we've got Warren Soul Trader. It's a 3-cost black creature zombie goblin wizard with 3/3 and pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure token. That's right, an almost free, unlimited per turn, no tap sack outlet where you could just get stuff killed for free. So this is half of an infinite combo already. And you're only paying 1 life, but then you get ramp out of it. That is nuts. Absolutely insane. Do not count out the combos that can happen with that card. Next up, we got Flage, Titan of Fire's Fury. I assume they just said, hey, ChatGPT, it's red and it's white. Come up with a name. I don't know, some dumb fantasy sounding thing. And it's a Titan of Fire's Fury. It's like the old joke that they got rid of Chandra. They're no longer printing her pretty much because they ran out of words in their thesaurus about fire. Chandra, the flames fire, fire's flame. Chandra, the burn bitch. I don't know. Chandra, toasty. Can we just have her lose her spark? So, Flage here enters battlefield, sacrifice unless it escaped. That's actually kind of interesting because it's a legendary creature, Elder Giant, by the way. I assume it's from Theros then because escape, but who knows? They really don't respect or care about the what would you call it, continuity or whatever, the universe, the everything stays in its lane, you know, of the lore anymore. But whenever Flage enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life, and then escape 4. So 2 red, 2 white, which is a little restricted, but hey, and then exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. So all of that to get a 6/6. But if you drop this in for 3, I mean, it deals 3 damage to some target and then you gain 3 life. Buy yourself some time. Next turn, 4 drop, boom. You got to have 5 in your graveyard, though. With in these colors, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I think this is a pretty weak mythic. It's interesting and it's escape, but it's not great. Next up, Strix Serenade. It's a 1-cost blue instant. Counter target artifact, creature, or planeswalker spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying. If this looks a little familiar, it's because they clearly ran out of ideas and just printed a strictly better Swan Song. Now, the argument could be made that it's not strictly better because Swan Song, which is, by the way, about an $11 card still, this card's nuts, it's counter-target enchantment, instant, or sorcery, and then its controller creates a blue 2/2. That's right, its controller, the spell's controller. You are giving the opponent a 2/2 unless you counter your own spell, which I've been known to do in some matches way back in the day. But counter-target artifact, creature, planeswalker, I mean, they definitely stopped 2 different things. This is the first card where I'm not sure what this will really be worth because you wouldn't really put a 1-cost benefit my opponent hyper speed deck kind of card in Commander. I mean, there's room for everything in some archetype like Storm or something, I don't know, but it's Commander, just pay 3 and actually cancel the damn spell and then also exile it with like Dissolve or something. Or was it Dissipate? Well, I mean, there's some better counter spells out there for the amount of mana that you probably have open. You don't have to play super tight, as they say. So I don't know. We'll have to see where that one lands. Next up, we got Emperor of Bones. It's a 2-cost 2/2 Black Skeleton Noble. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. And then if you pay 2, you adapt 2. So adapt is pretty much monstrous, except you can like recur it. But only if it doesn't already have counters. So if it has no counters on it, you pay 2, adapt 2, and it gains 2 counters. Now you can't do it again, but if it loses its counters, then you can do it again. Pretty nuts ability. And then whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Emperor of Bones, put a creature card exiled with him onto the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it, which I believe means it swings once and then is exiled. It gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, then it becomes exiled, I think. It's basically Whip of Erebos. So I don't really know how you get the counters removed after that, but you get a 4/4 for 4 with like a modular ability, so that's kind of cool. Next up, Argent Dais. It's a 2-cost white artifact, and Argent Dais enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters on it. Whenever 2 or more creatures attack, put an oil counter on Argent Dais. Now, I believe that's if you attack them or they attack you. I mean, I think they wrote it that generic on purpose. Then if you pay 2, tap it, remove 2 oil counters from Argent Dais, exile another target non-land permanent. Its controller draws 2 cards. So save your creature, blow away their creature. I might put this in my Don't Attack Me deck, my famous blue-white commander deck that has never been finished in 11 years. Don't count on a deck list anytime soon. Plus, a deck list on a commander deck would be like a 1 hour video. You guys wouldn't even watch it. Anyway, next up we got Wrath of the Skies. It's 2 white plus 1 X. You get X energy, then you may pay any amount of energy. Destroy each artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value less than or equal to the amount of energy paid this way. Oh, blow up everything that ain't a big boy. It's like the ultimate sweeper in white. Usually black does sweepers, but they'll do it with -1s. This is outright destroy, which works, a little differently, obviously. This is kind of powerful. I mean, it's energy. They're trying to bring that back and make it work. It kind of works. I mean, it's getting a little support. We'll see. There are way cheaper ways to wipe the board, but you could just already have the energy and then wipe the board for 3 and then leave some of your creatures alive. So yeah, that's nuts. Next up, we've got some weird artwork in Ophiomancer. It's a black 2/2 creature human shaman, and at the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. That's right, you basically get the cliche 1/1 for 1 Death Toucher that just stops all attacks until it's gone, sometimes, but recurring. And then you get a death trigger and ETB trigger, potentially. Now, Snake Tribal, don't even bother. My friend built it as a meme. It doesn't work. A lot of cards supporting it, but my god, did that commander deck go slow. But I would dare say you could drop this into absolutely any multiplayer commander-oriented deck that runs black, and now you've got unlimited 1/1 Death Touchers, at least 1 per turn. So they're going to lose 1 creature swinging at you per turn if it's not in the air, not indestructible, not first strike, all the stuff. But this is just very underrated already, and I haven't even seen it get rated. And believe it or not, that's all the interesting cards from today's batch. So subscribe if you don't want to miss the rest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.